Hey folks, I am hanging out here. It is it's Wednesday. Today I went and toured the Miyagi High School that is, I guess, linked up with everything that I'm doing. I had a lot of fun there. Basically, I don't know if I said this in my last high school tour video, but if you ever want to feel like a rock star and are too lazy to actually be a rock star, just go to a Japanese high school. And like, if you're like a big Western wide-eyed gaijin like I am, like a little foreigner, they just eat it up, and they're not afraid to say it. You know, I mean, like, a lot of times for like more important things, they'll keep their feelings inside. Like, they get really embarrassed about some stuff, but other stuff they're really forward about. Like, the Japanese guys will look at me and be like, "Oh, so cool," and I'm like, "Yeah, thank you." I don't know what to say to that. But the girls are funny. They're so funny. Like, for example, I'm sitting there and I like, they're so like girly, and so I sit down and the girls are just like, but obviously I can see them, and obviously I speak Japanese, and so I know what they're saying to each other, but they're still just like, oh my gosh, he's sitting here. So afterwards, at the very end, like, they're just like, hello, and I'm like, oh, hello. So they're like, oh, shashin, like, can we take pictures? And I was like, okay, that's fine. So I stand there, and then, like, I'm sitting here, and then there's a girl, and then there's a girl next to her. These are, like, the equivalent of, like, high school sophomores, I think. And then the girl looks at the other one, and she's like, maybe you want to stand on the other side of him, and she's like, so then she comes over, so I'm like standing in between them when we take a picture, and they're like, oh, can we take one on our cell phones? And I was like, yeah, okay, that's fine. So it's just like me and this girl, and she's just like, and like, it's really funny. So I'm sitting there just kind of laughing to myself, like, what could help put this over the top for me? So right as they're about to take the picture, I just go, and I put my arm around her real quick, and she doesn't just get surprised. She lets out like a screaming shriek, and is like, ah! And like as the picture's being taken, so it couldn't have been a regular picture. I don't know, it's on her cell phone. So I don't know, I had a lot of fun with that. The way the Japanese school system is worked out is that you go to high school for 3 years, basically 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. So those are the first, second, and third graders in high school. And so everybody does a club or an activity, even in college. Like, the college isn't very hard, so everybody has their clubs. Like, everybody does a club. You have to do some sort of extracurricular event. It's not, like, required, but that's, like, a lot of social interaction that you get in Japan. And so in order to get into college, every college has its own super intense entrance exam. The high schools also have a really hard entrance exam. So basically for the last month, the seniors just don't go to school at all. They just, like, stop. There's no more seniors in the school. But it's, like, nobody minds. The teachers don't say anything because they're home studying for their entrance exams. But then once you get into college, it's weird. You study really hard to take this entrance exam, and then once you're in college, the difficulty just, like, drops off. It gets really easy. It's really easy to graduate Japanese college. The classes are a lot more carefree. It's just, you just sit there and listen to a lecture. I don't think there's really, I think there's like readings, and I'm pretty sure it all culminates in like maybe a final paper. I'm pretty sure there's some tests, but from my understanding is that it's not very difficult. So yeah, that's what school's like. And then each year has their own uniforms. Oh, another really interesting thing is that from like elementary school, you're trained to just clean up after yourself. The schools don't really have janitors. They might have people taking out the trash. I doubt it though. What happens is that every morning, and like I think at the end of the school day too, everybody just has like a broom, and you just kind of sweep around on the inside and outside and make everything clean. And everybody just kind of takes care of their own area. And it's a training that starts when they're young, so, you know, these places don't have janitors. And then when you become, like, a salaryman, like when you graduate high school, college or whatever, and go to the real world, you still start every day off cleaning your little area. So in the morning, everybody just has a broom in their hand, and it kind of follows people through. Just like the other day, I said they have like morality class. They're also trained really intensively to clean up after themselves, and so there's never any litter in Japan. Everybody every day like kind of hoses down out front of their house, but not with like hose water because that'd be wasteful, and like that's not recycling. That's not Japanese. They have they recycle like their old bath water and stuff and just put it in bottles and keep it outside, and then they just use that to just kind of give everything a little rinse down at the end of the day, and that's why Japan is so ridiculously clean at all times. So I have a report due in a couple days. I'm going to start working on that a little bit, basically just about my stay here. Even though I'm only halfway through my internship, Japanese people are just so ridiculous with deadlines, and they just get really nervous, like, ooh, what happens if something goes wrong? So they gave me like 3 deadlines to hand in drafts of this paper, and one of them is like halfway through the halfway through the internship, just like, well, I've experienced half of what I'm going to experience, so it's going to change. A really interesting thing. Okay, so I talked earlier in another video about Kansai dialect, Kansai Ben. Hogen is dialect, and so different places have their own Hogen. And Kansai Ben is really popular in and around Kansai. It's a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun. I still use it sometimes. And so I came up here with like the strong expectation to learn some really good Tohoku Ben, which is the area that I'm in. Tohoku means northeast. Kansai means, what, southwest, I think? Yeah, southwest. Places in Asia are really geographically named, like Beijing means northern capital, Tokyo means eastern capital. Anyway, so I came here with this strong expectation to learn a lot of Tohoku Ben, but I haven't heard any. So I was asking around, like, hey, can you teach me some Tohoku Ben? And a lot of the kids are just like, I don't really know any Tohoku Ben. Like, maybe I might use it sometimes by accident. So I was asking around, like, trying to figure out why people here don't use their dialect. And I found out today that there's basically, when the Japanese people first made civilization, it was down towards Kansai, around, like, there's Nara and Kyoto, a lot of really rich history. And the north was always thought to be really barbaric. It took them a while to conquer it. And so this stereotype kind of got ingrained in the Japanese people like a long time ago, that the Tohoku and like Hokkaido people were really barbaric. And so that stereotype has kind of followed them. And apparently maybe 10 to 20 years ago, the leader of the chairman for Suntory drink products. That's one of the 4 companies I mentioned that runs they have the monopoly on all the drink products in Japan. And this guy apparently was treating Tohoku people really unfairly, and he made a public statement, accidentally or not, that they were barbaric, they were barbarians. And so the Tohoku people got really angry, as they should have, and they boycotted the Suntory products until the chairman had to make a public apology. And so since then, they've been trying to lose the Tohoku Ben, Tohoku dialect, because it carries that stereotype of maybe what we in the States would think of the South, just like maybe uneducated kind of person, that kind of stereotype. And so they're trying to shake that, and one of their ways of trying to shake that is to not use their dialect. So they just speak regular Japanese, which is, I don't know, I thought it was pretty interesting. So, I mean, that's pretty much it so far. I'm going to go probably start on this paper and then go to sleep. I love you guys back in the States, and I'll talk to you later.